cues.
Okay, I'm nervous. We've done this so many times, and I'm nervous.
Here we go. Do you think some people are not meant for relationships?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe something's for everyone on Earth in the same way.
I mean, there are a lot of people out there. There's definitely got to be some people that are very much happier alone.
Happier alone, for sure, right? Like, there's people that just fuck off into the woods and don't talk to anyone.
100%.
I'm not sure that they'd want help if they could have it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Or a partner.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I think it's very important. Do you think some people are not meant for relationships? Like, which part? Are you talking about just the long-term living with another? Are you talking about sexual relationships? Are you not talking about like deep, intimate friendships? There's a lot of various for relationships. I'm assuming what you mean is a monogamous partner to share life with.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I would assume that too.
And that one's tricky. It's sure shit not better being with someone you don't love.
Right.
Like, don't sacrifice for that, for sure. Don't settle and end up in a thing you don't like so that you're not alone.
Yeah, 100%. And also the meant for is kind of, that's kind of a weird phrasing, I think. Because I think, yeah, for sure, chances are there are going to be someone out there that's happier alone. Meant for kind of sounds like, not meant for, it kind of sounds like they can't handle it or aren't like somehow capable of managing it. So
like
right,
almost like it's a negative, like
right.
Like the fact that you're not in a relationship makes you less.
Right. Like there's negative undertones with the meant for part.
Yeah.
For sure.
I agree with that 100%. And I definitely, there's no fucking rules to this.
Right.
Do whatever you want. You want to date a couple people? Date a couple people. You want to date one person? Date one person. I don't give a fuck. As long as you're happy and everyone involved is consenting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as long as everyone involved is consenting, on the same page, understands what it is, understands what it isn't, and everyone is open about what's happening.
Yeah.
That's where things get messy.
Yeah, that's kind of how I think too.
Yeah.
But not meant for relationships. You may just not, it could just not be now.
Right. Not be now, or not anyone that you've met yet. Like I've had people reach out to me like saying that they have felt like behind in life because they haven't lived with anyone or felt like they've met that right person yet. And like, I didn't live with anyone before you.
I know.
I didn't live with anyone until I was 31.
Did you ever have
so
that
many
feeling?
People, what?
Like being behind?
No.
Oh, I totally did.
Because everyone that I had dated and broken up with, I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't live with that person.
Sure.
Right?
But like in general?
No.
Wow.
No.
I did.
No. Yeah. I mean, maybe I would have felt that way if I would have ever met someone that I wanted to,
Yeah.
But it had never happened. And I'm so glad it worked out that way, because anything else would have been a bigger pain in the ass and a bigger mess along the way.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Man, I just remember because my brother had such like a regular run at relationship and did, married his high school sweetheart and those type of things.
Yeah,
right?
and my sister and her husband too.
Yeah, I felt way fucking behind. I felt behind previous to my first marriage, and like that relationship started at 22.
Do you think that's a Southern thing?
I don't know if it's a Southern thing as much as maybe it was just a me thing.
Yeah.
But there is something too. There is something else going on, like with getting married, have kids.
Yeah, I guess I saw my sister, I think they got married at like 24 or 25 maybe. And I saw that, and I never felt like that expectation was on me. Or that I put it on myself.
See,
I never was like, I
need
need to be married by that time, because I always knew that my path wasn't ever going to look anything like hers. Like I didn't know what mine was going to look like. I just knew it wasn't that. Like I was very, very certain it wasn't going to be that.
I really don't think until probably college that, man, maybe not even that far, because kind of after the bike shop had shit the bed. So after college, it's like when I got into the bike shop, I was single. I met Ashley while I had that open, but like right as I started. And then I remember when the bike shop closed feeling really behind, like just at life. That like, oh, I didn't have it. Like I was working at that fucking AT&T job.
Yeah.
I was working at a really shitty house. I couldn't figure out how to pay bills. I felt really far behind where my brother was.
But I'm sure a lot of that too is because the bike shop wasn't a huge success.
That's not the term I would use to describe it. Yeah, it didn't make any fucking money was the biggest problem.
Right. Right.
That gets really hard. But yeah, I definitely felt behind. I felt behind with marriage, kids, all those type of things.
Yeah, I guess I always saw other people doing it, but I never felt like that called to it.
Yeah.
So I can't say that I ever did. Like maybe you could say I was, and that's fine. But I never personally felt like, oh, I should be doing this or I should be doing X. Like I didn't know where I was going. Like I said, I just knew it wasn't that route. And I never have felt the pressure to have kids, which thank God.
Yeah, I don't think I really switched on until much later. You know, maybe not even until Dad died. That I really had the kind of confidence to be aware of what I wanted and what I didn't want.
Yeah, that's when things got really real for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot has started changing.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly. So we'll move on. Yeah. Ooh, what's your favorite thing about each other? Toots.
No.
Endless supply.
Come on, that's not true.
No,
that's
it's not my favorite thing.
That's not true. That's in order now.
You've dialed that in?
Yeah, I have. I've dialed that in. Unless we want to dive into my GI issues on this relationship podcast. Which
not
listen,
that there is any.
Listen, that's a thing in relationships.
Yeah, you're gonna fart in front of each other.
Hopefully, if you're not, that's super fucking weird.
My favorite things about you. You always have my back.
Yeah.
You always do. But not in a way of you're not a yes man. Like there's a difference. Like I know that you're supporting like the core of me that wants to go the right way. That's not always who's driving the boat. But you know the overall direction of it and you always support that.
Yeah.
And you know how to reel me in. Man, I love that. I love also I love how much you give a shit. You give a shit about you. You give a shit about the cats, the house, everything. Like, I love that you're detail-oriented. I love that you give a fuck. I love that you are ambitious and want to grow. I love that you're trying to figure out business things. I love that you're adaptable. It means a ton. Like, you're not fucking fragile. You're also not... You're not some fucking damsel in distress, dude. Like, I love that because then that gives me freedom to be me because I'm not having to protect and save you all the fucking time. So the fact that you're an actually strong, independent female, I really love.
I don't believe you. Continue. Go on.
Also, tell me about that butt.
No. My favorite things about Matt. I think the first thing that always comes to mind is you always make me laugh. No matter what kind of mood I'm in, no matter what kind of shit day I've had, like I can always laugh with you. Like you're just hysterical. Especially after a little bit of the old
wacky tobacco.
But for real though, you're always making me laugh, you're always making me smile, and that's super important. The other thing that I really love is that whenever I'm emotional or upset or having a moment or anything like that, you always handle it so well. Like you always just let me feel whatever I need to feel instead of trying to change my mind or, talk me out of it or, pressure me into thinking or going or doing something else. Like you just let me feel it and you're just around. Because usually when I'm upset, like I don't need to talk or I don't need to talk right away. And you let me have my time and my space and my quiet moments, and you let me feel everything I need to feel and process it however I need to process it. And that's great because I think it's really important for partners to understand what the other party needs in situations like that. Like sometimes you just need to talk. You don't even need me to respond at all. You just need a sounding board, you know? And sometimes I just need silence or I just need touches. That's another really important one, is that like our love languages are different.
Very, yeah.
But we're both aware of that difference. And like I'm a lot more physical than Matt, and you're so much more on like acts of service and gifts and stuff like that. So me doing things, you know, around the house is, you know, showing him that I love him. Him, you know, being extra touchy-feely with me or whatever that may be, you know, is how you help me out. And we joke that like my touch tank is low.
Yeah,
like
make
I
sure
need
you know you're
like
my queen, man.
like that's my battery. That's when my battery gets recharged, is with touches. So you're aware of that and you're aware of my needs, and I love that. And then on top of, you know, those two things, you're highly ambitious, highly motivated, highly driven. You're an actual crazy person. But that seems to work pretty well for what we have going on.
It currently does.
I tend to be a little bit more rational, realistic, and grounded. And so I think that it ends up being a good balance most of the time. And you're the weirdest person I've ever met. I love that.
Fuck yeah.
100% the
I'm
weirdest
the
person.
weirdest?
I mean,
That says a lot, dude.
you're the weirdest person I've ever met that I've spent a lot of time with.
I'm consistently weird.
There's a lot of other weirdos that we know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
want
wanna
to
live with them.
No.
But yeah, it's because like occasionally I'll get asked if it was like love at first sight, and I'm like, oh, I just thought he was a really weird dude. Like, no, it wasn't love at first sight.
No, it definitely wasn't.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't know what to make of me, and I was just like, oh, this guy seems really fucked up on painkillers.
Yeah, you're
this
not
whole
wrong. I was
weekend at
really
the
fucked
Arnold.
up on painkillers.
It's a hell of a way to meet
I
someone.
was in a straight leg brace at the Arnold, like between surgeries, and I
yeah.
basically limped in that day crying.
Yeah, that was when I
So,
first met Matt.
Things were
Vincent.
going pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of things I like about you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're a keeper for sure.
Fuck yeah. Let's
Yeah.
keep doing fun stuff.
No, and he's super hot.
Come on, man.
He's got a great butt, and he's super fun in bed.
All right,
What?
now, Doug, go.
Well, what do we love about Doug? Nothing.
What?
Oh my God, we don't love anything about Doug. He's a trash cat.
Super great in bed.
Yeah,
You heard that?
we'll get into more sex stuffs
I assume.
probably pretty
Oh,
soon.
okay. I was like, were we talking about Doug? Because we didn't switch names.
Well,
Doug's not great in bed. He takes up a shit ton of
Doug takes up
space.
way too much space in bed,
He's covered in
and
fur.
then he humps his blanket twice a day, at least that we see.
What a weirdo.
Super.
Oh, he's so weird. Next question.
Is
Now
there
that we've hyped each other up,
Why'd you say that's so mean, girls?
what? What?
It's
What'd I
like
say?
just so weird.
He is so weird. I
Is
live
there
with a
a
bunch
way-
of weirdos, Brant. A
That's
bunch
true.
of weirdos.
It's a bunch of weirdos, dude.
bunch
She's
of
trapped
weird
with a bunch of
dudes.
weird dudes. Ollie, I don't know what Ollie is though. Ollie's a fucking alien.
We can't give him the title of dude.
All right. Is there a way to respectfully approach women at the gym?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm not gonna comment.
Yeah,
This-
I
I've
guess
just
I-
always assumed fuck no.
Don't.
well, I'm trying to think if it's ever worked with me.
Like
There's
look,
been guys that have approached me in gyms and said nice things, and I wasn't creeped out.
so here. I don't think there is a good way to hit on a woman in the gym.
But I think you can have a conversation.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong. If you would like to make a friend and then start a conversation and see if you have things in common and talk to this person as a human, which may take place over a couple weeks of going to the gym, running into each other, those type of things, then at some point, maybe you can ask them out. But simply just walking up to a chick while she's training to approach her, and like I assume you mean hit on.
Yeah, because the question is a way to respectfully approach. Yeah, there's a way to respectfully approach a woman most places.
Yeah, the same way you would do it anywhere on
The
earth.
same way
to-
you do it anywhere else. Yeah,
You
exactly.
just walk up to him.
Exactly.
Well, and not only like,
But don't be weird about it.
also you'll fucking read the room,
Right.
Mhm.
right? Like if that chick's got noise can like big headphones on and she's locked in, like she don't want
Yeah.
to fucking talk to you.
Mm.
She's work. The gym, she's getting shit done, so leave her alone. I don't know, man. Figure out how to be clever.
Yeah, maybe she's
Maybe
got
stalk her a little bit. Figure out what she drives. Leave a note on her car.
maybe she's got a Hey Brand Goods backpack, and you recognize that, and you're like, oh my god, Hey Brand Goods, I love them too. And then you can start
wearing
a
the clothes
conversation.
that she wears. It's called mirroring.
And then
That's
and then
what psychopaths do to learn to communicate with each other.
and then
We learned it from you.
you can have a conversation around that, and that can lead into anything else, a real life friend, and maybe more.
Yeah, or if you could just shit your pants in front of her and
There's
then
a lot of
apologize
things.
a lot.
There's a lot of things you could do to get her attention.
Slip.
Yeah.
I fall down. I belly slide as far
You
as
just
I
crash.
can right in front of them.
You've never done that for me.
I think I've done a belly slide. I've done a lot of floor slides.
There's definitely a lot of pictures of you lurking on me in the gym.
Yeah.
Though those pictures exist.
Yeah, I like lurking.
So yeah, there's a way to do it. Don't be creepy about it. Find something in common. Maybe that isn't her body.
Maybe
like
we
don't
run
comment on
through a
anything that's
scenario.
like like, do you need a spot or anything like that? Like, ugh.
How about I'm a lady now and I'm doing cardio, okay?
You're
Like,
doing cardio?
I'm on the stepper.
Okay.
I'm doing my thing. I have my headphones in. How would you approach me respectfully?
You have your headphones in and you're on the stepper. I'm not approaching you on the stepper at all.
You're just leaving me alone.
Yes, I'm leaving you alone.
All right.
If you're on
Smith's machine.
No, if you're actively doing cardio or lifting, I'm letting you do your thing. I'm gonna catch you I'm gonna try to catch you on the way out.
Oh, like follow him to your car?
No. I'm not gonna follow you to your car. I'm just gonna say something
Don't
on
do
the
what
way
she's
out.
saying. Well, like, hey, nice tits. Hey, Blondie, nice tits.
Exactly. Try that, guys.
Bonnie's
If it
giving
doesn't
great
work,
advice right now.
Or
blame me.
what I do when I go to the gym, if I'm gonna.
When you go to your gym
yeah,
that's
when I'm
filled
on,
with
when
women.
I'm on the prowl, when I'm prowling,
Okay.
I like to bring a laser pointer. And then you shine that at the parts of the women that you like the most, and then it lets them know.
Oh my god.
Is that not the way to do
Oh
it?
no. When I'm
It's
on
great.
the
It
prowl.
highlights. Like I use one of the green ones though, so it's not bad for your eyes.
Right. No,
And then
red is supposed to be the best light for your eyes, remember?
Oh, but yeah, that's to chill you out, not to get your attention.
Okay.
And so
you're
like I
shining
just
it
kind
at,
of around some boobs.
maybe you have different colored lasers, and ones for the parts you do like, and the ones for the parts you don't like.
The part you don't like, that's an attack.
Yeah.
The laser itself is more of a highlight
Oh my God.
of your strengths.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, there you go, gentlemen.
Yeah, bring your laser pens. You're
Matt
great.
Vincent.
Disclaimer, the
Pick
Umso
up.
podcast is not responsible for any bodily harm that may occur from trying any of these methods.
Pickup wizard.
Thank you.
Whatever, man. Best of luck.
Pickup wizard.
Do you both get up and go to bed at the same time? We don't get up at the same time. We go to bed at the same time.
We go to bed at the same time pretty much all the time.
Yeah. And that typically the way the go to bed at the same time works is we usually have kind of shut it down work-wise, those type of things, between 6 and 7. And so by then, kind of we've wrapped up the last few emails. We try to ditch phones and then usually to the basement or the couch to watch something until one or both of us have started to fall asleep during that.
Or you physically just need to be flat because you're more comfortable in bed.
Yeah, my hip or back don't do the couch really long very well. I can do the beanbag better, but even then at some point, the beanbag just kills me with the lack of support.
Yeah.
But it's great.
So we usually end up in bed smoking, chilling, watching TV, whatever. Maybe I'm listening to TV.
As she
Not
does.
a big deal.
She's one of those gals that lays on her side and she's like, no, I'm watching that. And she's eyes closed with the covers completely basically over her face. And what she means is I'm listening to the audio of that TV show.
But I really do enjoy that.
Well, I enjoy audiobooks to fall asleep to as well.
Yeah.
I bet you do.
Yeah. So I am listening. And then get up. No, Matt's usually up an hour, 2 hours ahead of me.
Yeah, I'm usually up I'm between 5 and 7 without an alarm.
Yeah. And I'm usually between like 6:30 and 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's usually up before me, but that's your special alone time.
Yep. I like having that morning time, man. Like that. If I could wake up rested at 5, I'd be sick. Like I would happily do that every day. I like getting over here and doing cardio. I like having that hour to myself.
You know, I was crazy, crazy productive when we were still on Dubai time, and I was waking up at 3:30 every morning. We're both waking up like, all right, yep, ready to go.
Yeah.
And then day was pretty much done by noon. And then by 5 o'clock, I was like fighting to keep my eyes open when we had dinner that one night. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
I was a mess.
Struggling.
I was struggling with jet lag so bad.
But we don't
yeah.
we don't necessarily plan it. Other than I guess that is a part of the day we like the most because we haven't ever not done it.
What are you talking about? Getting up at the same
Well,
time?
like not getting up at the same time, but like the time at the end of the day that it's just us and like
Yeah.
going to bed at the same time. Like that's definitely something that we've never talked about as a priority, but it's never the case that one of us goes to bed and the other one's up working or fucking doing something.
I think that it would like things are maybe a little bit different when we travel.
Yeah.
And like that past trip when we went to Tahoe and we were with the whole team, like there's obviously a lot more that you need to do on that trip. So I think I went to bed without you early a couple times.
Yeah, that happens more when we travel with groups.
Yeah, travel can be weird. And also travel, we're probably getting up closer to the same time because there's things that we need to go and do together. So yeah, it kind of just depends if we're at home or not. But typically always going to bed at the same time.
Yeah. Do you think it is possible to be friends with an ex after getting into a new relationship? I do. I'm friends with my ex-wife. Wish her the best. We talk pretty regular. We're still business partners with hate. That's the only ex I'm friends with, but that's also the only ex I've had as an adult. Like prior to that, I was in my 20s and like or even earlier than that. So I'm not mature enough. I've had one relationship in since I would consider myself an adult, and I'm friends with her.
I have probably 2 exes that I could say were cool. We don't talk on a regular basis, but if I don't even know if we'd like get together for lunch or something. We don't dislike each other. We don't talk often, but there's no like animosity there.
That's right.
Yeah. And those were both situations where we're like, I think we're better friends. Like there was no nasty breakup or anything like that. We're just like, oh, I think this is actually just a better friendship than anything else.
Yeah, and I think it's I don't believe there's a rule of thumb for should or shouldn't be able to maintain a relationship after it's over. Like, I mean, if that resource is spent for you or it's a bad person, or a bad fit or a bad just something that's not assisting your life and they have to go, then fuck those people.
Yeah, 100%.
Although there's just nothing wrong with it both admitting that this isn't working anymore, even though that it did. Like you don't just hold out and wait for it it doesn't have to catastrophically fail for it to be time to move on.
Right.
And whenever you're both mature enough to kind of get to that, then yeah, you can be friends.
That's just it, though. So many people are fine with okay, so they'll wait until the catastrophic thing to leave.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, like when shit's gotten bad in a relationship, it's essentially who's gonna like wait the longest to call it.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, I don't know. How do you initiate hard conversations like the ones that center around needs and wants?
This is an opportunity for me. I feel like because I'm still working on my communication in an adult safe relationship. So there was definitely some like past trauma that I came into this relationship with that has prevented me from communicating very well. I appreciate that you're so open and typically pretty good at it. Because it's always received fine. Like there's never any big blowups or, tons of frustration on your part. I think it's just important to acknowledge and be aware of what kind of headspace your partner is in before you have that type of conversation. And making sure that you are, keeping this space really open and creating a really safe container to have that conversation. I know that sometimes you'll get frustrated at a thing. And for me, that's like a slight turnoff to communicate. You know what I mean? So for me, any type of, not aggression, but anything that's like kind of a bit of a barrier for me is tough for me to get over and communicate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so, I mean, that.
And you know that about me, and you know that the past trauma that I've had. So you always try to like stay really, really open. And
I
again,
will
back to
almost
that.
even back to that, like to communicate with you in those instances, I almost communicate coldly so that it's not confused as anything. It's like, let me just explain the best I can in words without emotion attached to it to tell you where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
But it's tough. Like the things that frustrate me too are I will get frustrated with a situation and that'll affect me. I very rarely will get affected by a conversation of something we need to work on.
Yeah, or anything with us, really.
Right. Yeah, that's always like,
you're
okay.
never frustrated with us. Thinking back to a recent thing where I was like frustrated about some stuff around the house.
Sure.
And like didn't like it was Matt like put a dirty dish in with like clean dishes and like didn't sweep some stuff that like recently fell on the floor, like didn't take out the trash, just little dumb house things. And me on the inside, I'm like, okay, he didn't do any of this on purpose to frustrate you or make you mad. He's just not paying attention. And then I'm like, okay, well, you don't need to say anything because it wasn't maliciously done. But then he could see that I was obviously very frustrated, and I didn't even want to talk about it because I'm like, if I don't talk about it, it'll just go away, right? Because that's how these things work, right?
That is how they
that's
work.
How they work.
We've always read that.
But it was me not thinking it was worth talking about because he didn't do it maliciously, when that's not true. Like, it should still be discussed because obviously it's causing me frustration, which is going to cause him to be like, yo, what the fuck's going on?
Sure. And there's a way to communicate that without attacking.
Right.
Because neither of us are attacked well.
No.
And so that's not the method to communicate.
No. With fucking anyone.
No, from anyone.
Yeah.
No one.
Anyone. No one
Anyone.
likes that.
No, but that's still what fucking people do, man. They try to beat their point into.
Oh, I understand.
And look, and I've done it. I've been that guy. I've been a fucking bulldozer. I know I'm that guy. It's a choice to not be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, it's for me, communicating, like whenever I have needs, frustrations, and those type of things, I definitely have gotten a lot better at this age by fucking 38 to being able to figure out like what it is I'm actually frustrated about. And I do a good job. I try to do a good job about that now of let me actually get to the root and figure out what it is here that's triggering this before I bring it up.
Yes.
Because I can typically like, and again, that's just something I've gotten better at, becoming more aware of what it is that ticks me in different ways. Outside of that, I pretty much address frustration immediately. And anything.
As long as you can.
Yes.
As long as it's a thing that can be addressed immediately. Because that's the other thing that gets tricky for you. There's a lot of things that you can do, and then it gets to a point where you have to wait, or you have to let things work on their own, and that can be challenging for you, having that patience.
Immediately.
Yeah,
that's not a good one for me. It's definitely
but
something
listen,
I'm
we're
learning
both super aware of our opportunities and where we have room for improvement.
Yep, patience is a good one for me.
And that's the most important part. And communication for me, and bringing things up before it snowballs.
Yeah, and I do a lot better with patience, and I do a lot better with these, frustrations, needs, and wants when my brain is allowing me to operate more out of gratitude as well. As long as I can be able to say things are fine. Everything's really good.
Yeah.
The world doesn't crash if we don't sort this out in an hour. Nothing fucking changes. Be patient. Figure out what it is you're freaking out about before you freak out.
Yeah. It's always back to gratitude.
Yep. And, the other side of that, which we haven't really talked about too, is it's not just the bringing up hard conversations, but it's fucking how to communicate and like what language you use when you communicate and ways to say things that aren't you do this and you do this and it is this attacking instead of addressing it as fucking we. What can we do better? What can we do better? There's not one side that's supposed to fucking conform to the other. We're trying to figure out the way that we can both efficiently be happy living together. That's the goal. I don't need my whole fucking life to revolve around you, nor should you have yours revolve around me. This is a Bonnie plus Matt together. All the things that still happen in our individual worlds still fucking happen in our lives. And then the one that's together is its own thing that seems to be better than either of the two by themselves. And so figuring out how to communicate that, always the purpose of communication is to make that unit stronger.
Yes.
Seems to help. You know, if we both go into it with a problem-solving plan like that instead of a you need to fix this, it tends to make things a little bit better.
Moral of the story, don't attack.
What are your top 3 adventures you've had in life together?
Ventures? Adventures.
I mean, first and foremost has got to be our trip to Rhythmia.
Yeah.
That's the biggest.
Yeah.
I mean, very early for us in our relationship, I mean, really, we went and both spent 4 days doing ayahuasca in Costa Rica as a big reset. And both of us very clearly needed it.
Yeah. I think we had been together for maybe like 9 months at that point, right?
Yeah.
Hadn't quite been a year yet. And yeah, we spent a week in Costa Rica and sat with Aya a few times, and it was 100% life-changing. I don't think we realized at the time how life-changing it was.
No.
But for both of us, there's very much a life before that and a life after. Like, it sounds very cliche, but it's so true. And I think both of us have still been integrating that week, even a year and a half, 2 years later almost. Because
there's just always something there, like the depth to it, right? Like, it was something I really didn't understand prior to going.
Yeah, same. I went in very, very skeptical. we both
I don't
went
know
in
that I
like,
went in skeptical, but I definitely had some expectations that weren't met, and I was bummed about that. But then what I got out of it was huge.
Yeah, I went in very.
If you're called to that, I highly recommend it. It was very, very life-changing and definitely one of the catalysts that has helped me be who I feel like I am today.
And we did podcasts when we were there the entire time. So you
so
can
there's
go
a couple
back
episodes
and
you
find,
can check out.
I think maybe at least 4 or 5 podcasts we did that week while we were there.
Yeah, we did one a day, I think.
Top 3. I think the first time
Iceland.
I went to Iceland with you. Yeah.
Iceland's always great.
I mean, both of our Iceland trips have been incredible, but I think the very first time will always be the most special to me.
Yeah.
Getting to see the Northern Lights and camp with you in the back of the camper van.
Yeah, it's always good, right?
And yeah.
Iceland's just special
really
in
good
general.
trip.
So getting to share that with someone I love is always next level. Third adventure. Man, probably the RV with my mom, man. The RV with my mom was really good.
That was a good one. I had a different third one.
Okay.
Not that I don't love RVing and your mother, but the very first month-long road trip we did together.
Yeah.
Because this would have been like we were only together for a couple months, less than 6 months together before we took that road trip.
Oh, we did take off relatively early. We hadn't been together very long.
And that was a full month. And then, yeah, because that would have been 2019. Then 2020, we did 2 months, but that was with Brant. So I think the month that we did alone was really, really special to me. And like, you're in it. Like, you're living with your person in the vehicle and camping and doing that like nonstop together life for a month straight.
Yeah,
it was great.
It's definitely different.
Great is the word you're looking for. It was great.
It was different. No, it was really great. I love getting to road trips. So the fact that you're into that and you want to do it and camp and explore these places and all those type of things. And the first trip was really good. We were less busy.
Yeah. But that was when we camped in Idaho.
Yeah, and we camped in the Pacific Northwest, and we made some sex in a hammock.
We did.
So we got that going for us.
Yeah.
How
that's right.
was your body able to accomplish
I laid
this?
flat.
I did the
I
work.
laid flat in a hammock as if I was a
I did the work.
suspended log that
Okay,
she could
alright.
straddle.
All right, that's fair.
That
Yeah.
one was me.
I can see how that would work. All right.
There weren't any other crazy positions.
We've
we
had some
figured
pretty
out.
cool nature sex.
We've had some good nature sex. Nature sex is a good time.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would put those 3 as my top 3.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with you. I'll back you.
Okay.
Yeah, those are good. Man, it's so much fun getting to travel and do those things, though. And like always the different experiences. And like even the RV trips with mom, I could almost blend all of our travel time together as one big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because our life at home is very different.
Yes.
So I just love the RV road trip travel time with you.
Yeah.
I get more you.
Yeah.
And it makes some of the other shit we have to accomplish harder, but fuck. It's still fun, man. It's still fun, like finding hot springs in Utah and doing all this other stuff. And it's great.
It's been really good.
All right. How to qualify contributions to the relationship when one partner makes more money, but the other helps around the house more. Yo, you're a fucking team.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
You're not, if you're
That's-
keeping score, you're already fucked up.
yeah, it's true.
Like if you both are aware that these are the roles that you agreed to when you decided to continue going out with this person,
Mm-hmm.
and then especially if you've gotten to a point that you're both going to share finances.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, right? Like sharing finances, like maybe you just both have different responsibilities. And I wouldn't think of this any different than like if we were traveling with a group of friends, our friends make a variety of income.
Yeah.
Right. So some of our friends, it might be cool to say like, hey, if you could take care of dinner
Mm-hmm.
on these nights, rad. We'll take care of the Airbnb.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
You know, so everyone contributes a relatively even percentage.
Mm-hmm.
And be honest, that like, you know, if you make more fucking money, you make more money,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And then the two of you in a relationship, I've done both. My last relationship, I made a lot more money than my partner. And then in this one, you and I make close enough that it doesn't matter.
Close enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're 50-50 on it, and we don't have any shared personal
No, we
finances.
We just started our LLC.
Space Cats LLC.
Space Cats LLC. That's our investment property.
So we're investing in,
business.
investing in a couple businesses, stuff like that. So
Um,
we'll manage that. And now we're starting to get into Airbnbs and property. So excited to get that one going. We actually close on November 4th,
Yeah,
3rd.
I think we're out of town. when
No, we close before we leave.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they
It's
changed
the
all that.
3rd.
That's what the emails
Oh,
were all about.
Okay, I need to look at that.
They
Yeah,
came over
so
the last 3 days.
we only share that one account.
Yeah.
All our personal accounts are separate, which is fine because we tend to have slightly different spending habits.
Yep.
Um,
Which also, you and I treat as not the other person's fucking business.
right. Yeah, for sure. If
You
Matt
know-
wants to go buy a $10,000 road bike,
So be it.
that's Matt's money. He can do whatever
Yeah,
he like
as
with
long
it.
as Matt can pay the fucking bills that we're all responsible for,
Yes.
and
Yes.
we're both trying to invest in things, right? So
Mhm.
like neither of us are fucking running that thing to zero every week. We're both trying to put away money to be smart together.
Yep. And that's
So-
kind of what this like season of our life feels like. Is like the time to really focus on that and save and make smart decisions and do things that benefit us in the future.
But as far as, you know, a relationship where it's not even, it's tricky. It can get really tricky, but there has to be an agreement on these are the tasks at hand.
Yeah, I mean, did you have that with your last relationship?
Oh, Brant.
That's not me.
Oh,
That's
me.
you.
Fuck. Yeah, it's my alarm, so. I mean, we had a big discrepancy. I definitely had more issues with it later toward the end of the relationship, but just due to my own bullshit. It was really unfounded.
Yeah.
I was unhappy and I wasn't real stoked on me.
Yeah. So then
And
you're
so-
just
I mean,
looking
you
for
start
things
just
to be mad
pulling
at.
it. You just start pulling it, whatever.
Yeah.
That's
So-
it.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
And I feel like we fill in where the other one is missing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you take care of a ton of stuff at the gym. You keep the gym clean and organized. I usually keep the house clean and organized because I'm there a little bit more. You're here a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just looked at as shared responsibilities.
We both share things. Yeah, we both do different sides of things. Weird things that I was thinking about that just happened with gender roles that like we haven't ever addressed that just were a given.
Yeah, what?
That of course you got the bigger closet.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, but it was also just never discussed.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Right. It was just like, yes, this bathroom that's attached to our room is mine, and the closet in here is also mine. You mosey off down there.
I never go in your bathroom.
Of course you don't.
But you're in my bathroom.
When we have company.
Sure. Or at night. Like,
occasionally
nighttime
I'll quick
showers
shower
usually
there,
end up being in there. Yeah.
But for the most part, I use mine.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah. And I don't
But I
have
also
any
get the
issues
office.
with any of this.
No.
Yeah. I'm not in the office as much.
No, it all works out.
Yeah.
How big of a role does spirituality or religion play in each of your lives and in the life of your relationship?
Well, I can't say religion at all, probably.
Yeah, zero.
Zero. Both of us were pretty much atheists, especially when we went to Costa Rica and spent time in ceremony. I think we both went into that pretty much atheists. Yeah. But since then, I think there's been a big shift in spirituality for both of us. And not just in spirituality, but more so in self-awareness, which I think is the most important part of that.
I agree. And I think both of us within the spirituality and self-awareness and trying to, figure ourselves out and manage emotions and manage expectations with intention and how to build on all these characteristics and be able to analyze yourself without judging yourself, to be able to push yourself without all the negative connotations, and your partner, and accepting bullshit, accepting what you can, change what you can and accept what you can't.
Yeah.
Them's the things.
Yeah. I think we've both come to a lot of realizations about ourselves, and it's been nice having a partner that's kind of on the same growth focused journey, because you know that you can say all these things in a safe space. Like, it's going to be received well. There isn't going to be any judgment or, harsh negativity coming back at you. And like me figuring out like my emotions and why I am the way I am and why sometimes I struggle to communicate my emotions, and all the things that I've uncovered, like as I've gone kind of deeper into that process, have always been well received by Matt. Even when there's like some not so pretty things about me or my personality that I've uncovered, or I'm like, yo, this just is how it is. Like, it's never been met with anything hostile or judgy from you at all, which has been amazing, because it's been a journey of self-discovery for both of us. Well, and things that we want to work on, and always reminding each other to stay in that mindset of gratitude.
I think because neither of us have brought any religious bullshit into the relationship, right? And like, especially kind of, I had started diving into psychedelics and self-awareness, some stuff a little earlier. And with that, it just opens so many doors. And one of the things that opened for me was the idea that there isn't right and wrong based on some morality or ethics. There is only favorable and unfavorable consequences to our actions. And so as long as we're doing things that are bringing us toward the direction we want to go, I don't have a line of like what's acceptable or how you should feel or any of these type of things. I don't have any prejudgment as long as we are taking note of a thing, deciding, does it need to be addressed or does it just need to be let go? So learning more about my own shit, learning how to manage my own anxiety, my own anger, my own frustrations, and stay in a positive mindset has helped me a ton in relationships. So, I mean, it's not a shock that the more work that I've done to try to make myself better, smarter, happier, more open, more understanding has been good for both of us.
Yeah. Yeah, same on my end for sure.
Couple more. Should you avoid conflict/disagreements with your partner if it means peace? I don't think you should pick fights.
That was me when I was trying to decide if I was going to say anything about the fucking dishwasher and floor being swept. You know what I mean? Like I was just going to
Like
not
if it's
say
truly
it,
a
'cause it's
thing
fine.
that you don't notice.
Yeah.
Right. Like if it's truly a thing of like, and you can let it go and move on.
Right.
Let it
Then
go.
maybe. Yeah. But if you're going to let it go, actually fucking let it go. Like don't just sit there stewing in frustration and be very obvious that something is wrong.
No, it's
because
not
your
ideal.
partner is going to pick up on it. But like, yeah, if you're going to let it go, truly let it go. Like forgiveness. Like we have a friend that's like, well, I forgave, so and so for that. But I'm also going to make them suffer for X amount of time. It's like, okay, well, that's not forgiveness. Like, that's not how this works. Same thing applies there.
Yeah, and weird, that's not working out great.
Yeah. So, same thing. If it truly doesn't matter, let it slide.
That's it.
We got a couple more on
the old Instagrams. I got that one already. All right. With working from home, do you guys share an office or do you each have your own workspace?
So we have an office with both of our stuff in there. Matt's in there 90% of the time, and I'm in there like 10% of the time.
Which has recently started changing since we've been home. I've been coming up here and working.
Yeah, you also have this space, and I know I could work here if I wanted to. But moral of the story is there's plenty of space for us to split up and spread out if that's what we want. I tend to like complete silence or only music when I'm working, and if Matt's around, he can't help but talk to me.
No, I share ideas.
So
I
like that you call it sharing ideas, even when it's like, hey,
well,
will you
it's
look
not
at
like
this?
I'm talking if you're not in the room.
No, I know, but it's funny. So yeah, I need to have headphones in, music, or just be alone. And if he's in the office, I try just to not go in and let him have his time and space.
Yeah, I think
unless I'm feeling flirty.
Right. Well, that's different. But we have tons of room, like whether you work at the bar or downstairs. If I'm home, I'm in the office. If I'm here, I work up here. I like working in the office just because I like my setup. I like my desk. I like my chair. I like my extra monitor.
Yeah, and if we ever upsize our home, we'll probably get one more bedroom. So our offices are split up.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
And have a guest bedroom as well. But yeah, there's plenty between home and dope. There's plenty of space for us to spread out and split up.
And I've really liked coming up here.
Yeah,
stay a bit more focused. I like like I said, using this place as a giant fidget spinner, essentially for.
Well, and like this is your place where you go every day.
Yep.
This is your podcast studio. This is your office. This is your gym. Like this is your work. This is the place you hang out at 9 to 5.
Yeah, and it's a creative space.
Yeah, and that's what you've been doing.
Yep. And I dig it. I dig that.
I don't have to ask where you're going.
No,
I understand you're going to dope. If you're going somewhere else, you probably tell me.
That's not a great question. Last question from our buddy Chase Hoskins.
Oh, Chase.
He said, love to get you guys' take on open relationships. We are seeking. Numbers 3, 4, and 5.
Wait, what does that mean?
Trying to bring 3 more in.
Oh boy. Oof. Go
Just
from
keep them
2
in the basement
to 5?
and cots.
Whoa. Ooh. Okay.
As we need them.
Okay. That makes sense. We're not in one. We've seen it work successfully for other people for periods of time. I don't think
same way I feel about monogamy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't feel it's any more risky or less risky than long-term monogamy.
For sure. As long as all parties are aware, agreeing, consenting, and, stoked on what's happening, by all means, go for it.
More love, the better.
Yeah.
I do believe that. I think that if you and your partner are confident and mature enough to facilitate that lifestyle without it getting weird, I think it's probably really rad.
Go for it. Yeah.
Seeing what I've seen with Kyle Kingsbury and them, and just like the house that they've created and how filled with love that house feels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a
different.
very, very special, unique environment. You can tell that the moment you walk in the door.
Yep. And now, while theirs has navigated to and from, but I mean, we have got to at least know some people who've navigated this other than trying to find people to fuck.
Oh yeah, we've never seen it actually be that. It's always been like a little tribe, and it's about love, and the openness is not the multiple partners. The openness is the communication.
Yeah.
Like you're just being completely free with your emotions, with your wants and needs in a safe space with these people that you totally love and trust.
Yeah, and like as far as open relationship goes, like if I was to consider this thing, let's say right now, boom, we're giving it a go.
Okay.
Do you picture that like you having a second boyfriend or hookups?
I don't picture it either way. Sorry, I'd never thought about it.
Right, because I think those are very different in the open.
Yes.
Like, are you open and allowed? Are you allowed to sleep with other people?
Yeah.
Or
do I have a boyfriend on the side?
Yeah, because like one of the other friends I know that do the open thing or had for a long time, essentially the rule there was the other person doesn't get a say in who makes you come.
Okay.
That's
I
kind of
think
how the rule was.
I think it'd be really hard for me to find another boyfriend. It'd be easier to find hookups.
Sure, that makes sense.
Right. Which so therefore I'm saying
I would say that's pretty general across finding relationships in general.
Just as far as what's more likely, probably
more
the
likely,
hookups.
yeah, just
right,
hookups. Yeah.
Right. Because otherwise, if I'm looking for another partner, there's so many things that I'd be looking for. It would take forever. I'd never find anyone.
No, it's complicated.
Like my standards are pretty fucking high.
Yeah. Glad to hear it. They're not that high.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, oh God, that's work. And maybe you do happen to come across that person and you really do genuinely like love spending time with them and
would probably make it easier
them.
if I got along with them.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And we've seen that somehow work out too.
Oddly enough.
Which is crazy, but true.
But because that's the biggest part of it, right? Because we've seen it work. We know all the things that we were taught of like supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not
don't necessarily apply.
Yeah. There is no supposed to be. There's no fucking rules. It's just whatever you want to make it.
No, and I mean, I don't know, man. Like I love my partner. I love you very much. I also know that touch is a very important thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if at ever some point
your hands get cut off?
Yeah, I'm not capable for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whether it's too much travel, fucking who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you're not getting that need met.
Yeah.
Then that's a conversation we should have.
That's a conversation we should have. Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about that. I know that I think at this point I would be willing to say, let's find out.
Yeah.
That's about where I would go.
Yeah.
But I also know that I don't have to anymore say, yes, I'm this way or this way. I'm not allowed to change my mind too. I'd be like, this just doesn't work for me.
Right.
And then at that point we have to decide, is it us together or do we part ways?
Right.
Right. So.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know how it looks on my end. I don't.
Also, it's impossible to say like we're always going to be in a monogamous relationship.
Nope.
We have no
I'm
idea
not
what we're going to want in 5 years.
Anything
or 10
I've ever
years.
said, for I like this forever, has gone really poorly for me, other than cookies and boobs.
That's right. I was going to follow that up with the cookies and boobs thing.
Cookies and boobs. Good forever. I don't
cookies
even
and
think
titties.
beer's that great anymore.
Good forever.
Beers even
Cookies
fell
and
off the list.
boobs, for sure. But
I didn't think weed was good forever. It's not even on the list. Cookies, tits.
Yeah. Yeah. Unchanging.
Simple man.
Forever unchanging. But I mean, that's just it. We don't know what we're going to want in a couple years. We have no clue.
So in that way, we do have an open relationship.
Because we are open
to whatever the idea that makes us happy.
Yeah.
And we approach that as a couple. So that's it.
There you go.
There's all your questions. Thank you guys for listening. Spread hate. Always party. This is a lovely Bonshro. Thank you for coming.